I think we're live. Hey, we're live. Hey, we're live.
We live.
We live. Not to be mistaken with They Live, which is a great movie. Have you seen it before?
Uh, I haven't. I don't. It sounds like it's probably a horror movie. I don't do.
Sorta, kinda.
Yeah.
It's kinda is. Not really. It's got you know who Roddy Piper was in wrestling.
I feel like I vaguely do.
Okay. Well, he's a guy that wore a kilt. Hot Rod Roddy Piper, and he actually plays in that movie. It's great. The whole scene of put on the glasses and then they're like the shades. I'm sure you've heard of that. So that way you can
Yeah.
actually see the world for what it really is, and sees all the aliens and then all
Oh,
the
as soon as
consume, obey, and all this stuff just written
yeah,
there.
I haven't watched that movie, but I've definitely, now that I've looked it up, I've definitely seen like the guy, like the skeleton face with no nose, like the zombie sort
Yeah.
of. Yeah, I've definitely seen stuff from that. I don't think I've ever watched it though.
It's a great movie. You should see it. I just watched a dumb movie last night. It was completely off topic of everything else we got going on. Watched this movie called Trucks. It's probably the most knock-off thing I've ever seen in my life. That kind of felt like Maximum Overdrive,
Mm-hmm.
but not really.
It sounds like
it
it's
was
a.
based on a Stephen King novel.
See, it sounds like it's going to be a Cars knockoff. But
But it's kind of like a horror movie, but not really.
yeah,
It's one of those corny things. So yeah.
those are like Stephen Dale's or whatever that was. I can't remember the name of that movie, but what's the name?
Which movie is it?
I'd have to. I can't. I have to. I'd have to do too much searching to remember what it was.
We spent it half the cast. Hey, what the
Yeah.
heck was this? But
Like
anyway,
I have to do like two. I have to do like two. Like I have to look up the actors, so then I can look up the. Oh, Tucker and Dale versus Evil. That's the one I was trying to think
oh
of.
yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
That
Been
one's
a
funny.
while since I've seen that one. But anyway, Megamus and Mr. Headmaster Don are not going to be with us tonight. They are both on assignment, duty calls, kind of things like that. But me and Cyburn are going to touch base probably on some of the more awkward, odd things that are coming out of San Diego Comic Con. Obviously, I want to know, like, probably the biggest reveal that you've seen was it's the Beast Wars guy, the Ultra Mammoth. Is it Ultra?
Big Tomboy.
A big convoy, yeah.
Which I'm surprised that they actually kept his name as Big Convoy. I kept wondering what they were gonna, because they renamed Leo Convoy or Lio Convoy. I guess it's Leo Convoy into Leo Prime. So I thought they would change, maybe change Big Convoy's name, but Big Prime is not a good name. So it kind of was like, what in the world are they gonna rename him to? So I'm kind of glad they just kept it Big Convoy.
I think
end
it's
of the day.
actually kind of cool looking. It's very, very remnants of the original, just not as much kibble hanging off of him. I don't
Yeah,
think
they did.
did a good job tucking away the mammoth.
Yeah, it's because it's. I mean, that's one of the biggest difficulties with that original toy is all the stuff hanging off of them, and then having them on a shelf with a bunch of other. Because that whole line for Beast Wars Neo is just shelf warmers. They all have stuff hanging off of them. Like, if Beast Wars is kibble, Beast Wars Neo takes kibble to an extreme. But yeah, they did really good, and my only thing with the prototype that they showed is that hopefully the parts that are supposed to be blue are blue instead of the black that they molded it in. But I assume that reveal, that prototype is just a prototype, because the reveal images they showed in their little slideshow had blue in the spots where blue should be. So
Yeah, I mean, this
but
is
yeah,
the photo I have up there is like one of the more higher res pictures of him. They've got several of them on TFW 2005. That's where I'm pulling these from.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, there's some really really cool design. Like I love the fact that he's got the texture, like the mammoth textures there. I mean, it really does look good. It looks like it's going to be a lot more posable than the original too, because of the lack of that kibble getting in the way.
yeah. And you know, you kind of look at like the shoulder bits, because a lot of the stuff on Big Convoy had to fit around the robot body, so it was usually really big pieces. But like those head pieces are smaller than they were on the original toy. The legs hanging off his legs are smaller, so there's definitely a lot more folding up. I feel like they're doing to the robot body than the original toy did. But it looks good, and I'm glad it's leader class. Should look good with Magmatron.
Yeah.
That scale. Yeah.
So speculations. Do you think you're going to get an Ultra Mammoth out of this?
I sure hope so. Like, I feel like everyone, that if there's one thing that I feel like a lot of people agree on, that the TFCC did, that everyone liked, was Ultra Mammoth. Like the name, everyone likes the name, and the color scheme works great. So
I mean,
I would hope
mammoth.
so.
How could you not want that?
I would assume, like, my speculation would be that it would be a some sort of exclusive, like maybe an Amazon exclusive or something like that. But you never know. Like it could go retail. Like they could do something like I mean, they did G2 Grimlock as a retail release. I think it might be a Walmart exclusive. I'm not sure.
The G2 blue one is. The other one that came out during the Toxitron thing, that one I think was more or less a wide.
Yeah, the orange one, or
the yellow one.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of interesting. You would think it would have been the other way around, especially with Generation 2. But I don't know.
I assume the assumption is blue things are Walmart exclusives, red things are Target exclusives. Weird things are Amazon exclusives. Right.
Well, maybe the Blue Ultra Mammoth will be a Walmart exclusive, so you'll get a chance to get it that way. Yeah, we got... That was like the big one that I knew that you probably wanted to talk about, because there was another one that was revealed. Was it the Fusor?
There was quite a few there was 3 Beast Wars reveals, which I was surprised. Well, I guess one of them is only tangentially Beast Wars, but yeah. So Ultra Mammoth, Big Convoy was kind of the big one, which we had seen rumors that he was going to come, and we had seen rumors that Quick Strike was coming, and so they did announce Deluxe Quick Strike. So you have a Quick Strike to go with your Silverbolt, and he looks great. I think the only thing that I saw of him that I would nitpick a little bit is his snake arm is shorter than the original, and so it kind of looks stubby in the It's not very prominent in his beast mode, but it seems to work fine in his robot mode.
Yeah,
it makes it not look.
Trying to get the photo here real quick to show everybody, but
It makes it not look too big, because I know Quick Strike, his original toy, that snake head being as large as it is can be quite the counterweight to the entire figure.
I think he's kind of cool looking. I've always liked the whole Fusor oddity thing, and to be honest, this is straight 90s, like as 90s as it can get. I love the colors. The colors are amazing.
Yeah. In the show, the show chose the 2 that really kind of were the pinnacles of the fusors with silver bolt. And,
Would you think this would look better if it was vac metalized?
well, so the original Quick Strike was all clear.
Yeah.
Which thank goodness it's not clear, because clear plastic cracks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. So I mean, I unpacked all my Beast Wars stuff. I still have to finish my shells. You see all my my masterpiece up here is not even. I haven't even unboxed them. After putting them back in to move, but so many, like, just setting these up and finding certain ones that have gotten more brittle over the 2 years they were in storage.
Yeah, you were talking about a couple of them broke on you.
Yeah, like I had one that was, it made sense that it broke, was the Transquito. But the one that kind of hurt, that had a little bit of breakage, and luckily it broke in a spot that I don't particularly care about.
Mm-hmm.
But I had packed away my my Tripledecus, like the Japanese Tripledecus.
Mm-hmm.
And the ram horn, the black plastic, has gotten brittle. And so the way his weapon connects up underneath the bug shell, and I was trying to open the shell up, it just broke the where the friction tab is supposed to hold.
Oh, geez.
Instead of so that broke. I was like, I was glad that it didn't break in a way that makes it look broken.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, I'm never gonna touch this figure again. Like, I combined it into Tripledecus, and I'm never touching it again, because I'm like, I love this. Is like this was one of my holy grails, and actually, I back on the old podcast,
mm-hmm.
I had mentioned it was one of my holy grails, and it was actually Brett. He goes, "That's your holy grail. I can hook you up." And right after we got off the show, I sent him money, and he sent it to me the next day. So,
at least you didn't have to import it.
Yeah, and like he sent them all three in their boxes with all their stuff, and yeah, that's one of my. I absolutely love that mold. It's a shame that they are brittle in certain spots. So they're luckily not brittle in ways that make them unusable, but a lot of the pegs and stuff like that get brittle.
Yeah,
but I love that mold.
Kind of crazy. So what do you think of the Razor Claw that's coming out? Like,
yeah, that was the other one I was going to mention.
Basically a recolor.
I love it. So a lot of people were very confused by it, but there was that Universe line.
Mm-hmm.
Around the RID Armada, which is where that Razor Claw came from. And for me, I freaking love Universe, because it had so many wacky repaints of everything. So this one actually came out of left field. I was like, wait a second, they're doing Razor Claw? Like, I didn't think that. I mean, it makes sense to reuse the mold, but
mm-hmm.
I never thought it was going to happen. I was like pleasantly surprised, because that's one of the cool ones. I hope that they do, this one's probably hoping too much. I hope that they do that funky purple silver mold. I want that so bad out of the new silver mold.
Didn't they recolor Skybite as well? Like, didn't they do like a weird color for him back then?
Not Skybite. No, because you're thinking like the Cybercharge. You're thinking of you might be thinking of Depth Charge.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
Depth Charge's Universe repaint is really cool. It is actually one of the coolest repaints, because they made them green and red and like a tan, or like a deep like kind of a light brown color.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks very cool. I hope we start getting some of the medals, like the trans medals, because depth charge would be a really cool, especially as like a leader class. It'd be really freaking cool.
Yeah, I was always a big fan of the universe repaints. Like, I love the fact that they took it was a Generation 1.5/2 mold from Europe that was called Stalker. In Machine Wars, he was repainted as Soundwave, and then he was re-released in Universe as another version of that Soundwave, except for he was purple.
Mm-hmm.
Loved that mold. That mold, that was one mold as far as I was concerned. They could repaint that thing as many times as they've repainted Optimus Prime, and I'd probably buy every one of them, because that mold is dead solid. It's amazing.
Well, and that's another one where that was Universe was where we got the first U.S. release of the big convoy mold as the first version of Nemesis Prime.
Mm-hmm.
So Nemesis Prime is kind of known as, Nemesis Prime is like a Scourge with brown instead of gray usually, because Scourge did the first evil Optimus Prime, but Nemesis Prime, it seems like his origin would be Armada, but his origin was Universe with that big convoy mold. It's the tusks have red at the end of them. It's that's another one I hope like big. If they're making this new big convoy mold, if they give us Nemesis Prime and they give us Ultra Mammoth, I will be so happy.
So which one do you think they're going to do first?
I think they would be more likely to do Nemesis first, just because I think a Black Optimus would sell better at retail. I think your Ultra Mammoth would probably be more likely to be the exclusive to a certain retailer, where I think Nemesis Prime would be more of a mass retail.
Yeah. It seems like the deep cut stuff, like Ultra Mammoth, would probably, like you said, be more of an exclusive, because it seems like anytime they come out with any type of primal Optimus Prime or anything like that, they always do a black repaint. That's probably going to end up being the next one for that one. So.
And the only thing I could see is maybe because they're doing the and this was, might as well move on to another thing that's shown at SDCC that's kind of in the same. They announced that Armada Nemesis Prime.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing I can see is maybe if they release Big Convoy as Nemesis Prime, maybe they would change it to like Nemesis Convoy or something like that, to match Big Convoy. But who knows? They might not. They might just release them as Nemesis Prime. But yeah, they did announce that Armada Nemesis Prime.
They did, and
on the subject, which.
Yes, I'm bringing up the picture here in a second, if I can find it. Interwebs. To the interwebs.
Yeah, and that one was kind of interesting. That one I didn't expect them to release just the front of the Commander.
Yeah, I find that really
Nemesis
odd.
Prime.
But here it is. The fact that he comes with the Star Saber.
Yeah, I think that's going to make him, like, the Armada people are going to pursue hard for the minicons alone. That minicons were a craze.
Well, that's the thing. I really think they've been missing the ball on that. I understand probably the reason they went away from minicons was because of the way Micromasters sold. Personally, I don't think they marketed the Micromasters correctly. People were wanting more articulation or whatever out of them, but to be honest, they would have market them better. I mean, seriously, if they just do minicon 3-packs like they used to do, they would sell left and right. Put them in that classic cool packaging, and people would snag them up.
I think the only problem is that core class doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So they would, I don't know if anyone would want to buy 3 minicons at a deluxe class price point.
I think they would have to come in more, more packing accessories. Blast effects is a good idea. I honestly think if they're aircraft like these guys, why not come with little miniature flight stands? That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Or maybe even since these guys, if they wanted to do this on just a retail basis, because how many times did they recolor that Star Saber? Like 4 times?
Well,
3.
they recolored it to what was it? Did they call it the Nemesis Saber? That was the black and purple version.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had the retool of it in Energon. That was where they just retooled the basically jet pieces on their backs to make them look different, and it was like a yellow sword.
Yeah, I know that one of them had a lot of translucent as well.
Yeah, that was like that.
Set as well.
I think they changed the name of that to Energon Saber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know some people loved that toy, and the fact that you got a large sword you could put in the hands of pretty much any of your Transformers. This would be kind of cool if they did a 3-pack later on with this. Maybe homaging those other ones, but like I said, maybe add in some flight stands. If not flight stands, make, I don't know, some kind of cradle or something like that the sword could set in, or upright. A cool way to just display them as a team.
Yeah, that would definitely be something cool to do.
Just to have a pack-in,
I
so
feel
it's
like
not
the
as
sword.
expensive.
Yeah, I feel like the sword flew around all the time. There's a lot of stuff they could do to make minicon packs more appealing. Like, even if it is just throwing blast effects and stuff like that, right? But yeah, it's. I think the bigger problem is, I think small Transformers are more expensive to produce. Because those 3 minicons, the parts count there is probably pretty high amongst the 3 of them. Yeah. For what you get, But the Nemesis Prime was interesting.
Yeah, the Nemesis is really cool. It's not like a black. It's kind of a bluish color, which is interesting.
A lot of people were confused by it. I guess because I'm in a few Discords, and I think they're it's just younger fans at this point. They were confused by who he was, and it's because they decided to base it off of the episode that featured Nemesis Prime, which was basically just a hallucination, almost it was a manifestation of evil, an evil Optimus Prime. Sort of on the reveal of things to do with minicons and Unicron and all that stuff. And so in that episode, it was it didn't look like the Nemesis Prime toy that released in Armada. It's which was kind of Scourge colors.
Yeah.
From RID, except for with tan bits on them. It was more of a blue. It had some Scourge-like properties to it, but it wasn't like that black and teal that you're used to seeing with a Nemesis.
Yeah.
Or the browns that you're used to seeing with the Nemesis. It was supposed to be like a shadowy, and there are in other pictures you'll see it even has there was this messed up face that it had, and they gave the head sculpt that messed up face.
Yeah, I think
so. This is legitimately
picture of it
based on the show instead of releasing the character from the toy line.
Yeah, I find it really interesting and cool that they were able to do something with this. I was always curious of what could they do with that mold afterward, because there was wasn't there 2 other recolors of that whole set? I know there was one that was kind of a bluish color close to that with red and white. Was that a Sam's Club
Armada? No, no, you're probably thinking of the Power Links.
Oh.
So Yeah, Armada had like mid-season they had Power Links, which basically was just they all changed color. I mean, it's the same thing as the RID brothers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they changed color to power up, and
Yeah.
in the cartoon, it was basically Transformers Super Saiyan. So all of the characters in Armada got a Power Links repaint, which changed their colors. So Optimus Prime was sort of flipped the script. He was predominantly blue with like a dark blue, and then he had red accents and outlines and stuff like that.
That's probably the one I'm thinking of because it looks a lot like that.
There were some repaints that were kind of like weird, like darker blues, and then
wasn't there like a red yellow thing or something they did?
It's so hard to because there were so many, because it was that weird time with Universe and stuff like that, and I feel like every store had a Universe repaint of something. Like there was Sam's Club's exclusives, which when was the last,
Yeah. When's the last time we had one of those?
Yeah, there was Sam's Club's exclusives and like exclusives everywhere. Yeah, it was a wild time back then. So there's probably a bunch of repaint. If I had to imagine, there's a bunch of repaints of Armada characters out there. But yeah, it was kind of surprising to see them do this and not just do a Power Links Prime.
Yeah,
this is probably a more interesting way to do a release of this, but
I mean, the fact that they're giving a minicon set, and to be honest, if they're afraid to do just 3 minicons, just do everybody that's an Armada fans solid, and just release all 3 groups: Skyboom Shield, Requiem Blaster, and that Star Saber all together.
And if they could do it with sets, or I feel like they would probably do it like maybe. I feel like they're more likely to release it with like repaints. So, maybe they do Paralink Starscream and release the Skyboom Shield. Maybe they do because they announced. I saw an announcement that they're doing. I think they announced it. Armada Jetfire. They could always do Paralink's Jetfire and release him with a Requiem Blaster or something like that, right?
Yeah. I'm hoping that's how they do that to get the Requiem Blaster out. The Skyboom Shield, that's the difficult one to me. I mean, unless they decide to do a recolor 2-pack or something.
Yeah, I can't remember who even used the Skyboom Shield in the show. I feel like the one that would make sense to release it at this point, because I don't think Starscream has gotten a repaint, would be to just do Paralink Starscream and release it with him.
So what do you think that would be like? One of those price points where it's like two deluxes kind of price point, probably, if they did.
Well, Starscream was a Voyager, I think.
Was he?
So, yeah, and this one, because I know this. I think I saw that the Nemesis is $75, which someone sort of did the math that if you assume that each minicon is a core class price point, that it comes out to like a Voyager and 3 core class figures. Which, so that puts it at higher than a leader class, but lower than a commander class. So I would assume that if they did something like Starscream with the Requiem, or with the like Skyboom Shield, they would release. It would probably come out at like a leader class price point, something like that.
Would you be against them maybe doing one of the other Seekers instead of Starscream? Maybe.
Well, I mean,
with it?
I would imagine
get it out with it, so you don't have like a double of the same character.
I think I would imagine that they would probably release, just like they did in Armada, release Paralink Starscream as Thundercracker, because that's what the packaging called him, Thundercracker. In the show, it was just Paralink Starscream. And then Skywarp came out later.
Yeah.
And he was I think, was he a Walmart exclusive? I feel like
I think so. I used to have it. It was awesome.
Yeah. For some reason, Skywarp is a Walmart exclusive. And it's been like that forever. It doesn't make any sense.
Do you think they'll ever do a Ramjet?
Ramjet. If they do it, I mean,
man.
if they do a Skywarp, maybe. Like, I could see them eventually doing Thundercrapper.
Thundercrapper.
Thundercracker, aka Paralink Starscream. And then
I can see his Thundercracker wielding a freaking tornado on the end of a stick.
Yeah. But yeah, it's I can see. I mean, Armada was huge. I mean, I would say that it's probably still one of the most popular series, you know, to date. Like, it's got to be in the top 5 when it comes to popularity.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like RID kind of flew under the radar because Armada just like overlapped the crap out of it when it came out. It's like everybody was all about the Unicron trilogy. It's almost like RID 2000 Car Robots just didn't really happen much. It's weird.
Mike Boyle in our chat said Armada Scout was a mass release, so it wasn't an exclusive.
Okay. With Overlord.
I couldn't remember. I think I know that it seemed like Masterpiece Skywarp. It was definitely the first Skywarp exclusive I remember, and it seems like Skywarp never gets a mass release at this point for whatever reason. But
that's pretty crazy.
Now here's a question, because this sort of shows us that Hasbro is not unwilling to release the parts of the Commander class figures as individual releases, which, with like the combiners being Commander classes, could you see them releasing the combiner, the character themselves without the combiner bits?
Well, yeah, I mean, when it comes to just Silverbolt by himself, they recolored Silverbolt, like, I think it was during Universe, they recolored him as Skyjack. They recolored him as, was it Dreadwing? I know it was like Dreadwing colors. I couldn't remember if it was Dreadwing or what they had called him, but they had used that same mold for like 3 or 4, and it was just Silverbolt. Yeah, I honestly can see them doing that, especially if they start going down the route where you don't have to have the add-on bits to finish the entire vehicle, because Silverbolt's really the only one that's done that. I know Motormaster's hard to do with that, but I mean, I don't know. We don't know how Onslaught is going to work. We saw like a couple images from San Diego Comic-Con dealing with him, but we don't really have any like actual photos of like the combination mode, how that works. To be honest, it's probably just the front truck half. It probably doesn't even have the trailer portion, which would make sense. I really kind of hope they go that direction, because if they do, they could easily re-release that as like Mega Octane, just, you know, just because they could. Same thing if they do something similar with Hotspot, if they ever get around to doing a Defensor, which they're dumb if they don't do a Defensor. That's all I gotta say. That's a huge one they really need to do. Because there's a lot of people out there like myself that like fire trucks and ambulances and police cars and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine
Japan absolutely loves that stuff, so it'd be dumb if they didn't.
Yeah.
But
I imagine with being that they keep doing, you know, more combiners, I imagine you'll see most of those combiners come out.
yeah. But yeah,
maybe some of the odd ones you won't, but I expect them to at least go all the way up through. Realistically, I expect them to go all the way up through Predaking, you know, if they sell well. You know.
I don't know if they're going to give us another Predaking though, because from what I've been told, everybody loves the Predaking that's already been released. And
I mean, the only reason I can think I could see them doing it is for size. One, because they'll either re-release the Titan class,
Mm-hmm.
or do a new one just to scale it with everything and make it more uniform with everything. But
I mean, I don't know.
that would be my only prediction on that one.
Well, if Triptychon's anything to be said, they're not afraid to go back that far. So.
But no, and they've been re-releasing Titans, so and Triptychon's a good one to re-release. I mean, Triptychon was a flawed toy in that they shipped it out with a pretty awful problem with that spring, but otherwise, I think everyone was pretty happy with Triptychon.
Yeah.
It was a good figure.
And the recolor seems that a lot of people like the recolor that come out too, where it's just slightly darker. You don't have the transparent portions; they're all opaque. That's cool.
I'm still waiting for my Gigastorm.
I've seen 3D printed parts to make that one that's just come out as Gigastorm because it's a little closer to his colors anyway.
Yeah. if Takara wants to do that, I'll buy it. Come on, Takara.
Yeah.
Do it.
We need a Gigastorm, people. And a Megastorm. We need both of those.
Yeah,
those both need more love.
Yeah, I mean, I assume that they'll release, they would release it as G2 Megatron, but, Megastorm is just G2 Megatron with different stickers at the end of the day.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much what it was. His he didn't have the purple. It's kind of a matte brownish color instead of the purple, which was cool. I didn't mind it. I thought it was kind of a cool little thing. It's still same color green though.
I am curious, and I don't think we ever will, but I am curious if we'll ever get the Beast Wars Galvatron, because we have Lio Convoy, we have Big Convoy, we have Magmatron, but we don't have Galvatron. But that purple drill tank, space dragon.
That is the weirdest toy, and I don't know if they'll ever get around with doing that again. The colors are just, what the heck? It's like somebody just puked colors
weird.
on it.
It's weird. The shape of it is kind of phallic. But, Galvatron, man.
It's Galvatron. Who doesn't love Galvatron? But, speaking of just some of the weird stuff, since we're just starting to talk about some of the oddities, I want to get this out of the way. And this is something that I think is hilarious. It's freaking Megatron as a He-Man figure, but it's Skeletor.
These were weird. I think, from what I've seen, everyone kind of loves Skeletor or Megatron. And I'm too young for He-Man. Like, He-Man was pretty over with by the time, when I was in my, the years where He-Man might have caught my attention.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have, my biggest love for the characters is internet memes at this point, right? But, like, this would...
Am I back?
Hello,
people.
You stop, yeah, you stop for a minute. It looks like we're spinning on the
stupid.
Oh, there we go. We're back.
I broke the internet. Skeletor Megatron broke the internet.
Yeah, let's see. Okay. Yeah, it's getting it got a little weird, but it looks like we're back.
But yeah, I like the fact that his staff is actually a mace. And they took, it looks like the Havoc staff and just attached it as a robotic add-on to his fusion cannon. It's just, there's so much love behind how they designed this version.
It's pretty good. I am tempted to buy it for the memes of it, just because it is whoever designed it went all out. Especially on Skeletor. The other guy it's Bumblebee Man at Arms or something like that. Yeah, I'm bringing it up
right now. Give me a second here.
I'm not really familiar with the character.
Yeah, it's definitely a strange one.
And it's like that one. I feel like a lot of people have been kind of like, I guess if you're a Bumblebee fan, but I haven't seen a lot of love for it. I mean, it looks fine, but it just doesn't hit like Skeletor, Megatron.
Oh no, not even close. I mean, honestly, I don't understand why they didn't just go with Optimus Prime instead of Bumblebee, but I guess they're doing it to save face. But yes, it's Man-at-Arms wearing a Bumblebee costume is basically what this is. And I don't like this one. I just don't.
Yeah, here's the problem with Bumblebee. I'm gonna lay out the problem with Bumblebee. Hasbro, in the last 50 years, 40 years of Transformers, however long it's been at this point, has destroyed the cohesion of Bumblebee. He is not a cohesive character anymore. So when you look at this, it's like, which Bumblebee is this? Is this movie Bumblebee? Because it has that sword that is related to movie Bumblebee. Is it G1 Bumblebee? Because it has the head, it has the chest. It's just like Bumblebee is too many characters at this point. Like Optimus stays pretty consistent. Megatron's been all over the place, but I feel like he's been all over the place in a different way than Bumblebee has, because you know which Megatron you're looking at when you see a Megatron, right? Yeah. Because they're all so different. But Bumblebee has become so like muddled that it's like I don't know which Bumblebee this is. That's kind of the big thing. I think that's kind of the difference between this and Skeletor.
It's a very, very conflicting figure. I mean, the mace is very Man-at-Arms, but I don't understand what it's supposed to be. I can't wrap my head around what they have going on with that mace. Obviously the arm sword, to me that's like Michael Bay on versions of Bumblebee, like from there on, because he always has a sword from then on. But I'm just like, you guys could have just gave him a blaster, because Man-at-Arms uses one, and I don't know, not give him the Man-at-Arms face, just make it. I don't know. It's just it works better for the Megatron because it's basically Buckethead Skeletor.
Yeah, like Skeletor's wearing the bucket, and he's, he cut out a cardboard box and painted it silver and put it on his chest. And
this looks like somebody just like yanked Bumblebee's head completely out and then shoved it on Man-at-Arms' head. Like,
yeah, it's definitely the weaker.
Wore it as a helmet.
I'm surprised they didn't do like Optimus, Optimus He-Man, or some other character. I'm surprised they didn't start with Megatron and Optimus. I assume that if these do well, they're gonna do an Optimus versus someone else. Like, I don't know the bad guys in He-Man to name anyone but Skeletor, but
well, you got Beastman, you got Merman, you got Trapjaw. Those are all interesting ones, but this is cool. But I would have rather seen. This is the one time I would have rather seen an Optimus instead of a Bumblebee.
Yeah. Well, and the only thing I'm thinking is maybe they're doing Megatron, Bumblebee, so that they can do like an Optimus Starscream, which would kind of parody what they did with, like the Hearts of Steel. They released Optimus Starscream, and then they're going to release Bumblebee Megatron. And maybe they're kind of looking at a potential of a wave 2 of these, but
I mean, in a wave 2, I can probably see them, like you said, if they're going to use Starscream, I could probably see them using Beastman with him, because Beastman was always like Skeletor's, right-hand man, the guy he just basically sent in to just be Mr. Cannon fodder half the time, which was funny.
Mm-hmm.
Trapjaw, I think they would save Trapjaw probably for Shockwave or Soundwave, just because he's kind of robotic anyway, and I think it would just make better sense because he was kind of a wacko, but a bit of a scientist dude. He has like an interchangeable arm, so I think it would just make better sense if it was a shockwave. But yeah, I really, really like the idea that they're going down here. But they really, really kind of missed the boat to me on this Bumblebee. The Megatron's amazing. This thing, I'm just like, no.
Yeah, it's definitely the weaker, and I feel like they selling these individually, or are they?
Yeah, they're
set?
individual. They are individual.
Which means Bumblebee's going to sit, and Megatron's going to sell.
Yeah. And I hate.
I've seen everyone. I've seen everyone. You know, I haven't seen many people who didn't like Megatron.
Yeah.
The Megatron's.
So what else really caught your eye with San Diego Comic-Con? We're probably both thinking the same thing because we're also fans of the.
Yeah, I mean, if we want to go weird crossovers, to sort of step away from Transformers a little bit for a moment.
Yeah, guys, it's not all about robots.
There was the wackiest crossover that sort of came out of nowhere. I hadn't heard anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
TMNT and Godzilla.
Yes, exactly.
So they announced the first wave, 3 figures.
Which is weird.
Which is,
you would think it'd be 4,
yeah.
But
yeah, I have a theory on that, but it's Raphael as Rodan, Michelangelo as King Ghidorah, and then Leonardo as Godzilla.
I love
and this is Playmates is doing these obviously, but
knocking it out of the park.
They are, I mean, I don't, it's such a weird thing. So I was very tempted by those Power Ranger TMNT crossovers they did a while back.
Mm-hmm.
But I never bought them because I don't really do Power Rangers all that much. I bought the Megazord and the Dragon Zord from the recent ones that Hasbro did. I bought those because I was reading because there is the Godzilla versus Power Rangers comic. That's why I bought them. Because they gave me an excuse to own some Megazords because they are in a Godzilla comic. But
they also crossed over with Turtles.
Yeah, they did. But Turtles, I grew up. I was super into Ninja Turtles as a kid, but I just never collected. I don't even think I owned a toy from Ninja Turtles. The only thing I had was one of those handheld game things.
Mm-hmm.
That were super huge back then.
The Tiger Electronics.
Yeah, I had one of those. It was a TMNT one. It was like you were like moving through a sewer or something like that. But yeah, so these came out of nowhere, and they do look. It's the turtles mashed up with kaiju. It's wacky. It's wild.
It's a turtles thing.
Yeah, I'm confused by Michelangelo, who was always my favorite, being that I'm also a Michael.
Mm-hmm. But you're a King Ghidorah fan.
Well, but it's like weird to have his like in the Godzilla franchise, King Ghidorah is kind of his big bad. He's like the Lex Luthor to Godzilla, right? Like, mm-hmm. He's been his enemy more times than any other monster. So it's kind of weird to have, because Rodan is has been an ally to Godzilla, and usually your Godzilla allies is Rodan, Mothra, Anguirus. You had like your more oddball ones, Jet Jaguar. I love Jet Jaguar.
Oh,
And we'll talk about Jet Jaguar here in a second. And King Caesar. You know, those are sort of your allies to Godzilla.
Uh-huh.
So I thought it was kind of weird that they made Michelangelo an enemy to Godzilla, like always an enemy to Godzilla. There was an image that went around though, because a lot of people are speculating, you know, because there's no Donatello here.
Uh-huh.
And so we can, and I assume that the next wave, because they did market this as Wave 1, next wave is going to be Donatello, probably April, and probably Shredder, right? That kind of seems like...
Or maybe Splinter.
You know, maybe Splinter. I would assume that they would probably swap out April with Splinter if they did Splinter. But the assumption would be that, you know, they would do April as like Mothra, right? That, you know, have her Mothra themed.
Yeah.
Do Shredder as Mechagodzilla. You know, that's kind of seems like it would make sense. But we did see artwork of the 4 turtles, and we do know that Donatello is Jet Jaguar.
That's so appropriate.
Which I was not sold on these until Donatello as Jet Jaguar, because I love Jet Jaguar. Like, Jet Jaguar is my favorite. It's my favorite Godzilla movie. He's my favorite character. It's cheesy as hell, but I love it. And so, yeah, I'm sold on these. I'm probably gonna have these pre-ordered and add them to my collection.
Oh, I don't blame you. I mean, I know you're a huge Godzilla fan. I knew you liked Turtles. I personally have always been a huge Turtles fan and a huge Godzilla fan. This is totally in my wheelhouse. I'm trying to think, who would you want Rocksteady and Bebop to be? Because you know that's going to happen.
Yeah, it's like... Yeah, it's kind of weird because... I mean, because they're animal... Yeah, I mean, I guess, you know, the turtles are animal themed, but... I don't know. That one's hard. I'm like trying to think who Toho usually lets people use. Like, you know, there's like a cast of characters that Toho will let people use. Like, and the big 5, big 6. Well, the big 5 is Rodan, King Ghidorah, Godzilla, Mechagodzilla, and Mothra. Those are your big 5 in the Godzilla franchise. And it gets a little weird after that. Jet Jaguar was a kind of a weird one to throw in there.
Yeah.
He makes sense as an ally to Godzilla, but I don't know. That one's hard. That one's hard to say.
Do you think one of them might be Space Godzilla?
I would have to assume, like, if you're going sort of big bads in the franchise, maybe Space Godzilla and Destroya.
Oh yeah. I would love. Give me a Rocksteady Destroyer any day. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, those would both have. Because the only thing I think of is going backwards to like, what are the big ones from like Showa era? Like maybe they would do
the Smog Monster.
Like maybe Gigan.
Yeah.
Maybe they could do Anguirus, but that's kind of weird because he's an ally usually.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's hard to say because I would assume that they would probably go with something like Space Godzilla and Destroya, just because those two are, I would say, more iconic to the franchise. But they haven't done a lot with Space Godzilla. Like Destroya gets, I think Destroya gets more. It hasn't gotten a lot of love either, but I think it has more like power in the franchise than Space Godzilla does. But yeah, those two, I would assume probably those two.
Yeah, Destroyer has always been my favorite when it comes to like adversary for Godzilla, but Jet Jaguar was always my like favorite ally. So
yeah, I like.
They seem to be hitting all the right points right now. Let's see if they get.
Yeah, Jet Jaguar got big again because he was in the singular point anime sort of brought Jet Jaguar back into the limelight, and he's had a little bit of a resurgence.
Which is, I think, is amazing. It makes me very happy to see that, because a lot of these properties haven't gotten a lot of love in a while, and I think it's cool to see them get, a bit of a niche. Like, I know we have like a lot of Godzilla toys on the shelves, but they're just based on the movies, no like crazy crossover.
Yeah, there's
oddity, and this is
like
neat.
there's a few weird things every now and then, but like usually that stuff doesn't perform very well. Like it's been a lot of movie stuff. Like, and even the weird stuff that comes out is still movie related. Like let me reach over here real fast. This is the greatest King Kong figure that's ever been made. Is
Is that the one that slightly transforms?
Yeah, it's the Titan Tech armor. My camera decided to be garbage right at this moment. I can't get it to refocus,
Like
but yeah.
lens or something.
No, I don't know why it's like autofocus. I need to turn the autofocus off because it like decides to. But yeah, this thing is the best King Kong figure ever made. I like his awesome shades, and that he has a mic. I don't know who needs to listen to King Kong roar through a microphone, but he has it.
I think it's funny. Like the Godzilla. Do you have the Godzilla to that too?
Yeah, I have all three
straight
of them.
body horror, and I love it.
Let me go over here. Because I actually haven't set up my Godzilla shelves are still in shambles. I've kind of been working my way around, but yeah, he's like got all this this cage comes up around. He's probably the weakest one. He's got like shin blades for some reason. He's got a blade that comes out of his arm. He's got a blade that comes out of his tail.
Yeah, but how do you transform him? You basically rip him in half and shove shit.
Oh yeah, like
shove the spines into his back. It's just like it's the best body horror transformation I've seen. Like, it's amazing. You split him in half, literally.
These things are wacky. I would love for them to make more of these. I mean, Godzilla's actually the worst. Yeah, I grabbed him too.
Sweet.
Yeah, these guys are awful and great, and that's kind of the combination that I love the most is awful and great. It's like these shouldn't be amazing, but they are. They're amazing.
And sometimes I think that makes the funnest toys is whenever they're weird. They don't have to be the best thing. They don't have to follow any kind of canon. But it's just left field nonsense just makes me happy. Yeah, I think those are amazing. Those are probably some of the coolest Godzilla toys I've seen in a long time, especially when it comes to like transformations and stuff, because Godzilla doesn't get much when it comes to that, except for that weird combiner thing that combined with Evangelion,
the Shin
Rider, and
the Shin Godzilla, and combined with Shin Kamen Rider. No, it's too expensive. It's too expensive and too ugly.
Yeah.
I ended up picking up a different set of chibi. It's chibi set of the 4 Shin protagonists.
Mm-hmm.
You can't call Godzilla a protagonist. He was antagonistic, but the 4 of them, yeah. The Hideo Kojima, or not Hideo, Hideki Anno. Hideki Anno. I always try to say Hideo Kojima when I meant to say Hideki Anno, because he's the Evangelion guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so he made Shin Ultraman, or he directed Shin Ultraman, or Shin Godzilla, Shin Ultraman, Shin Kamen Rider, and they throw the rebuild series of Evangelion in there with it, just for whatever reason,
Well, why not? Why not?
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah, I love that kind of crazy crossover stuff. Now that's the stuff that I want to see more of instead of the standardized whatever. Like, yeah, the He-Man stuff's interesting. It's different.
Yeah.
This Godzilla stuff,
I
it's
mean,
different. Finally,
I feel
something
like a lot
feels
of
different.
a lot of crossovers have been good. It is in the Transformers franchise. I feel like we've had a lot of really good crossovers. Especially lately. Like the Naruto one was really good.
Hmm.
Um, the, disappointingly, the worst crossover recently was Godzilla.
Yeah,
Um,
they dropped the ball on that.
'cause- yeah, it was like you have all these really cool like the Monster Hunter ones coming out look great. Like
Hmm.
I wish they were using making their own because they're using that deluxe Air Razor sort of mold to
Yeah,
make them, but those look cool. Like the Naruto one was cool. They've done all these different movie crossovers, and they all look cool. Um, it was really kind of disappointing that Godzilla ones were so bad.
yeah. The thing that really disappoints me the most is the fact that when it came to the Godzilla part, okay, cool, making Megatron, that's fine, but whenever this thing existed back in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, this is basically the Generation 1 Godzilla, or not Godzilla, but Grimlock, turned into almost a Godzilla. They so easily could have done something very similar to this. Add a little bit of skin texture. If you don't even add skin texture, at least give him the spine. Give him the proper head. Give
Yeah.
him something that felt more Godzilla. Now, I'm not knocking the Godzilla the one that's come out that bad because I've seen upgrade kits for it. But they could have leaned really hard into this weird KO thing because this wasn't licensed. They easily could have been like, hey, remember that weird KO thing? Let's just make that the crossover. And that
I
would
mean, I
have
would
been
at least. I mean,
such a deep cut.
they should at least come up with they should at least done something to make that Grimlock mold have some properties of Godzilla. Like even if it was just to give it a few spines, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you
Um,
see this has nice spines on its back.
yeah,
This is a Grimlock mold turned into a Godzilla.
yeah.
It works.
It was I was very disappointed in those crossovers. I didn't buy them. I'm like maybe if they go on sale, but they were kind of pricey.
Well, let me blow your mind
Um,
here, though, real quick. Look at the head sculpt on the original one. Doesn't that look a lot like Megatron? Yeah,
yeah, it's I would call that
missed.
Megatron-esque. Yeah,
That was like the one time they were up to the bat. They're gonna bat and knock it out of the park, and guess what they did? They completely missed it. Blew the World Series. They could have won it right there. No, opportunity missed.
yeah. I mean, I'm hoping. I just hope that maybe at some point in the future, like because I saw the TMNT crossover, I'm like, I really hope that they in the future revisit the Godzilla crossover.
Yeah.
Um, I want like a proper transforming Godzilla. It's probably too much to ask for a proper transforming like King Ghidorah to go with it, but maybe a proper transforming Mecha Godzilla. Um,
Well, that's the thing. They easily could have done that. They could have took both of those molds, both of those the Grimlock molds, remolded some parts that you slap on to give him spines. They could have took that same mold, repainted it like a type of not exactly silver. Maybe just repaint the stupid thing gray, you know,
yeah.
and then gave him like a few spines with like a booster thing that plugs onto his back and gives him the guns. That
I mean,
pretty much would have done it.
I'll give the Laser Rod Optimus use as EU
Hmm.
a little bit of credit because they chose it because it had the blue looking like backpack, things on its shoulders and stuff like that. It was kind of clever to choose it for that representation, but just I would have preferred just two Grimlocks. Make one Godzilla, make one Mechagodzilla.
Yeah.
Remold the heads to make them Godzilla, and particularly the Beast Mode heads to make them Godzilla and Mechagodzilla, and throw something on them that just combines. Maybe it turns into a weapon in robot mode that combines, sticks on their back to look like the back, the spines in Beast Mode, and that would have been a little bit more effort than what they put into it.
Yeah, because to me, it's like they put no effort into it. It's like they dipped Prime in just a different color, and then they took the Megatron and just swapped the head, dipped it in a different color, and called it good. And sometimes it works. That was just a example of bad. To me, that was just a bad decision. It really was. I'm with you. Should have made attachment guns or something. They would have saved so much money by just doing that. Especially since they've reissued that mold several times as it has been. It would never hurt to have done something that deep, that easily. Because proof that a knockoff company back in the day made something that literally looks like Godzilla, that looks like Megatron whenever you turn it into it. Like, come on. Seriously missed the opportunity, I thought. But I'm just trying to think, what else at San Diego Comic-Con were you interested in talking about other than the Seeker that everybody is like all about? Like,
I think that one might be good to. No, I think that one would probably be good to save for the other guys.
Yeah. Because but
yeah, the last Seeker mold I have interacted with was, oh my god, oh man, I don't know. It's probably Classic Seeker. Like, I can't remember the last Seeker I've transformed. Because I kind of got out on Power of the Primes of most of the stuff, and then I've just been collecting Beast Wars related stuff, and then a few Masterpiece. There you go. Masterpiece Starscream was the last Seeker I transformed.
Yeah, I just.
So yeah, I know there was a lot. I mean, because there was a lot of Transformer stuff in that. I'm trying. There was also a lot of stuff in the Tokyo show.
Yeah, there was.
And I'm trying to remember which one was from SDCC and which one was from the Tokyo show. There was a lot of reveals this last weekend, but I don't think a whole lot.
Do you collect Jurassic Park stuff at all?
I don't, but I'm interested in it. I'm in some Discords where a lot of people collect Jurassic Park stuff, so I talk about it a lot with people. But
well, the one thing that really kind of cracked me up when I saw it, I'll put it up here on the screen, was the John Hammond series one that's got the T-Rex.
Oh, is it the Buck exclusive?
Yeah,
for the show?
It's got the T-Rex, but the funny thing is it's got a let me reshare that. Sorry. It's got this dude in a T-Rex outfit.
Yeah, apparently it's based on it.
Apparently
it's based on a guy's actual cosplay from what I understand.
Mm-hmm.
This one was this figure set was kind of tempting. Because I was a kid that watched a lot of Jurassic Park Lost World.
Yep.
And so the Buck T-Rex was kind of that was a big part of my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Watching them rampage around San Francisco or whatever it was.
San Diego.
Yeah, San Diego. But yeah, this was a funny set. Especially that like little guy, the guy in the Godzilla or in the dinosaur suit.
Yeah,
I've heard a lot of scalpers on that one, but
yeah, it's just hilarious. I am such a fan. I've always been a fan of dinosaurs. Obviously, love Dinobots, whatever. But the thing is, when Jurassic Park hit, when that movie came out, there was just something about how they showed dinosaurs then compared to everything that had come out before it. And it was just completely different.
like it was at the time it was the most up to date, and there's a lot of inaccuracies in it, and there was a lot of inaccuracies made on purpose for the for movies to be interesting.
Right.
But yeah, it was because dinosaurs were either like claymation before that, or guys in suits when it came to Japan.
Mm-hmm. But it was really interesting seeing this.
I grew up. Yeah, I grew up. I mean, Jurassic Park was one of those things. Another thing like Turtles that was a huge part of my childhood. That I just never. I was always just pretty focused on Beast Wars at the time. Which if you look at a lot of the Predacons, the Predacons were what they were because of Jurassic Park. Like, let's be real.
Let's be real.
So, and I do have the two Jurassic Park crossovers for Transformers. I have both of those. I like those a lot. Those are great sets. I always say if Monster Arts, the SH Monster Arts, did Jurassic Park T-Rex, I would definitely buy it. I just and the Hammond collection stuff looks really nice. But it's still a little too much on the action figure side.
Yeah.
Where I would want it to be more high-end collectible sort of thing. Like I would buy a high-end collectible version of a Jurassic Park T-Rex. For sure.
I think there's companies out there that make them, but I don't remember exactly who.
Yeah, there's
somebody in chat's probably yelling at us like, "Hey, this person."
There's a third party, or I don't know if you even call it third party, because I think they just make dinosaurs, and they make a lot of dinosaurs that aren't themed on Jurassic Park, but they obviously make some dinosaurs that are definitely themed on Jurassic Park as well.
Mm-hmm.
And they look nice. I'm weird about having stuff that is branded the thing I'm collecting, right?
Yeah.
So like I don't do a lot of third party Transformers. I have some third party Beast Wars stuff and stuff that interested me. But there's always like this little itch in the back of my mind that none of this is real.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not official. It's kind of I have a problem with upgrade kits because of that. I bought the upgrade kits for the Power of the Primes Optimus Primal.
Okay.
The Optimal Optimus.
Mm-hmm.
And I had it on it for about a week, and every time I looked at it, I was like, I just for some reason I look at it and I think that stuff's not supposed to be on it. It's not official. So I took it all off. I don't know what it's like. A thing that's busted in my brain.
So with the Godzilla crossovers, did you buy those?
No.
Okay, I didn't know if you did or not, because I know you said you might, and I sent you the upgrade kits for them. But...
Yeah, the upgrade kits do a lot to make it better. I just don't know if I don't think I would be happy with having the upgrade kits on them. Is my problem. And I can't explain why. Because I always thought upgrade kits upgrades kits were the more ethical and responsible third party. I don't really care. I'm not preaching here. I don't actually care about any ethics or morality when it comes to the third party. But I always thought it was the I remember the old days when it was just like you bought the head for cup that had the Saigar and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that, right? And I thought those days were cool. And when I was a kid, or when I was a teenager at the time, I would think about like, oh, I wish I could buy that kit to upgrade mine to make it look better. But now as an adult who can buy those upgrade kits and did buy a upgrade kit, something about it just did not click with me. And I was like, I don't. This is weird, but um, yeah, I don't. For some reason, I just don't like putting upgrade kits on my official figures. It's weird. I can't explain it.
I mean, honestly, there's no harm, no foul to that, because I mean, I myself have had many upgrade kits throughout the years. One upgrade kit I had, I really wish I still had it. Yes, it's made by X Transbots. Some people want to correct me on that. It is. You have to look way back. We're talking like around 2010, 2011. They did an upgrade kit, much like Crazy Debbie did for the Generation 1/2, whatever. Devastator set. Gave him elbows, so you can actually have hands that are articulated. Gave him an actual waist, so you can actually give him knees. He had a light up head. It was a full kit that you bought. You didn't have to buy everything individual. And anytime I had that on my figures, it looked cool, but there are times I was like, I'm just waiting on, Scrapper just to kind of just give way and the whole thing fall over. So I took it off because I didn't want anything to happen to that. But upgrade kits to me aren't bad. They're good if they fit in correctly and don't damage your figure. That's just
well. I think if I was inclined to do like customs,
mm-hmm.
and sort of customize because one of the problems I thought that one of the problems was that the color match was not like perfect
Mm-hmm.
on some of that stuff, and the plastic quality was obviously different, and I think if I was a customizer and I would buy a kit and then customize the whole thing, to make it look nice, I think that's where I would enjoy it. But I am not a customizer. I'm bad at customizing.
No, I get it. Like not
and I'm like,
does.
yeah, I'm like too impatient to put in the effort to get better at it. So, to me, I just see the imperfections of it when I put it on.
Right.
Kind of drove me crazy, but I think they're great for the people who like them, and I know a lot of people who buy. They're always waiting for the DNA kit to, pop up and buy it and make their figures.
Or go to 3D cults and print off their own stuff that they can put on there, or get a friend of them to do that.
Fill in the gaps and make things look better, and fill in the parts that are missing.
Right. I mean, that's the thing. Like, there's back when I had a friend of mine who bought me the Core Class Optimus, and I love that toy. To me, it's a tiny little masterpiece. Optimus. He's perfect as far as I'm concerned. Now, some people are like, oh, no, he actually is to me. But later on, I ran across a friend of mine. He printed off a full trailer that turns into a Power Master Prime trailer, and you basically can mistransform him enough to be able to put the arms on him and put a bigger head on him, and he turns him into Power Master Prime. And it's cool because he's not too big. He kind of fits in exactly with the scale that I like, with the smaller stuff. But Hasbro would never do that. That's something Hasbro isn't going to do. Like, the closest thing they gave us was back when Takara did the Kabaya kits, and there was that Kabaya one, which has shot up in price. It's astronomical on the Kabaya kits. There's a reason why I don't try to find them really that much anymore. I did only hunt up one, and that's because Brett sent me a Star Saber, and I was like, great, I gotta find the Victory Leo to go with it, because I can't have Star Saber without Victory Leo for it to, give him his super mode. And I had to find that kit, and I tried to find the cheapest one I could off of eBay, and at the time, it's like $60. That's expensive for a Kabaya kit, but at the time, that's all that was available. That was
Mm-hmm.
the cheapest. And not me trying to get a hold of that plus the other two to create the hot rod with the trailer and then all this nonsense. I didn't want all that nonsense. I just wanted the one. So it's pretty difficult trying to stay within scale. So I understand like your niche for like I want it to be either official or I want it to be this or I want it to be that because I am a customizer because I've always customized toys ever since I was a kid. But I also do a lot of knockoffs and I enjoy knockoffs a lot. Like, I mean, my knockoff Abominus. Love this damn thing. And I threw G2 on it because these things are Generation 2 colors. They're stupidly crazy. I mean, Blott's gold plastic. I mean, seriously. How's that not G2? But, I mean,
Yeah.
that's the point. The point is like, yeah, I like the knockoffs just as much as I like official. But sometimes the knockoffs do something that's a little more crazier. Same thing with third parties does sometimes. But it's just, I mess with some third party stuff. It's just too difficult to transform sometimes. Like I think I told
Yeah,
you.
some of them were way like. I feel like third parties gotten better.
Mhm.
There was a time period where, for some reason, I think just to try to make them to set themselves apart from, and be seen as an adult collectible, they made things far too complicated.
Yeah.
And a lot of the third party stuff I have is simpler. Not to say that it's there are a few where I'm like, Hasbro would never do this, and I'm glad Hasbro would never do this. You know, because they'll use funky ways to transform things. It's like I don't like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like I see why they did it, but I don't like it. But yeah, there was that time period where third party figures were complicated, and if you weren't bleeding by the time you were done transforming it, it wasn't a third party figure.
Yeah. And now it's like they're trying to make everything either a certain aesthetic now, like with trying to continue some of the cartoony stuff from Masterpiece that Hasbro hasn't done, and Hasbro and Takara aren't going to do because I mean, let's be honest. I saw like back when I was seeing all this stuff trickling out. You know, I had a Masterpiece Gold Blood, aka G2 Bumblebee.
Mm-hmm.
Loved that toy. It was cool. And then they came out with that version, I forget which was, I think it was at the beginning of Legacy or something. They did that one Bumblebee that came out that literally did almost the same transformation the Masterpiece did. Like with the fold over doors that go around the back of the heels and everything. And I'm just like, then what's the point in Masterpiece? That's where it clicked in my head, and that's why I stopped collecting Masterpiece and got away from it because it was like everything's going that direction where you have the perfect smaller scale thing that isn't going to cost you your kidney. You know?
Yeah.
Like what they lost me was when they did that Optimus that was like $600 or something, $500-$600, that Masterpiece. That's insanely complicated, and I'm like, why?
It's not too bad. Like yeah, it's more complicated. It's more complicated than any Optimus needs to be. But because I do own it, I absolutely loved it as what it does. It doesn't need to be. I don't know why it's as complicated as it is. I mean, and the complicated, it being complicated does pull off a very unique sort of transformation for the vehicle mode to look pretty different from the the animation accurate robot mode and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a daunting transformation. No part of it feels like it's going to break. I think that's the positive part of the transformation.
Yeah.
Same with Starscream. Starscream's kind of complicated. It's not as complicated as Optimus, but it has a lot of steps and does a lot of stuff, but it at least never feels like it's going to break. Megatron was opposite of that. It has a few parts where it feels like it's going to break, and
Well, I've heard of it breaking quite a few times on people.
Yeah, and a lot of people, I mean, and they released that the SSA or the 86 Optimus Prime, and a lot of people are like, this is just a mini masterpiece, right? And they do a lot of that stuff, and a lot of that stuff I feel like is really achievable or your G1, your your car transformers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that they'll ever get the CGI accurate Beast Wars into a more favorable scale. That's kind of where the masterpiece Beast Wars fall for me, is they pull off that CGI look.
Mm-hmm.
But there's definitely better, good alternatives to masterpiece for especially G1.
Yeah. I mean, especially back when there were a lot of the knockoff ones that were coming out. And the knockoff ones were, I'm not going to say the quality was the best, but I can tell you for the price, the quality was what you got what you paid for at that point. It didn't feel like you paid for a piece of junk, but it also didn't make you feel like you were gypped. You know what I mean? It ruled that real nice middle line. And
yeah, I've actually been thinking about looking for
a problem with a lot of this stuff. They want to go extremely expensive or make it dirt cheap, and I'm like, where's the middle ground? People want middle ground. They don't want to pay too much, and they don't want to pay too little.
Yeah, and I do think there are some third parties sort of filling that middle ground, which is nice for the people looking for that.
Well, I think
and
it's
then
like
also
Dr.
just
Wu that come out with the tiny little the core class stuff.
there
It's always like
there
a
are people
two-pack.
doing
They're doing
all
a
the
great
legends,
job with those.
the legend scale stuff. And I know several people who love that stuff, because you can fit a lot of legends in a small space.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of surprised. Like, I've always felt like the peak of Cyberverse for Hasbro, at that scale, was Dark of the Moon of all things.
Yeah.
Like that, the Cyberverse stuff there was actually like really good. And it gave you a lot of the movie characters and a good representation at a small scale that let you collect a lot of robots and put them in a small space.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of surprised that it carried on for a little while, but at this point, small size classes are dead, unless it's oddball stuff,
Which I think's weird.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, let's be honest, like, when it comes to, like, collection space, I mean, I know you live kind of by yourself, so you have plenty of places to put stuff. But, in my case...
Yeah, to some degree, for sure.
But,
yep.
Throughout the years, when it comes to collection space, like, having space for a lot of this stuff, especially since you don't just collect Transformers, you collect Godzilla. You collect what else do you collect? I know you don't collect just Godzilla and Transformers. You said you guys.
Oh, I got I have because I do a lot of to expand out Godzilla to Tokusatsu.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a Gridman collection. I have haven't set it up yet, but I have a Ultraman collection. And speaking on small size, the main bulk of my Ultraman collection is a line called Chodo, which are 3-inch. Basically, they started out as a line of like candy toys.
Yeah.
Sort of like kabayas.
Okay.
Right. But they have they also just come in blind boxes and premium boxes and stuff like that. But I have a whole bunch of those. Gamera. I have Pacific Rim. I have a Evangelion. I have a whole bunch of anime stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, my collecting is not limited to just Transformers. Transformers has actually been the smallest part of my collecting habits recently. Really. And video game stuff all this stuff over here to my side where my TV is, and like I have Halo all right here. All my old Halo collectibles and stuff. So
You didn't go to the Mega Constructs, did you? Did you start doing building blocks for Halo?
no, no, I'm not. I'm not super big into the newer Halo stuff. I kind of jumped off that ship when Bungie stopped making them, and 343 Studios started making Halo.
Gotcha.
But no, I mean, and I forgot to Lego cars. I have a bunch of Lego cars. I started collecting the Speed Champions.
Oh.
When they went from like six. Like they used to be 6 pegs wide, and then they went up to 8 pegs wide, or whatever the
Studs.
things are.
Yeah.
The studs. Yeah, 8 studs wide, and that's when I started collecting. And I've been collecting this. This is the first year I haven't collected all the releases because they did, for some reason, they did like 12 Formula One cars, and I'm like, I really don't care about Formula One. I like it when it's the different like I have some
like the
Formula
Aston
One.
Martin.
Yeah, I love it when it's all the
Countach,
cars. Yep.
The Supra.
Yeah, so I mean, I collect.
Skyline.
I have a lot of. I actually gotta figure it out because I have too many collectibles. I don't have enough space even in. So I have to cut it down a little bit, but I'll probably put some of it just away in a closet because I do plan in the future to build custom shelving that will go from floor to ceiling on a couple of these walls, and I'll have a lot more space when I do that. But I'm working with what I have now. I wanted to get shelving into this house to be able to put my collection into collection cases, and that's what I have right now. And they have to have gaps between them. You can kind of see there's a gap. There's a gap between these two because these have built-in lighting, and the panel to turn the lighting on is in between, or is on the side, and so I have to have a gap to be able to turn the lighting on, which kind of sucks, but it eats up a little bit.
Trying to use an application, trying to turn things on and off, and then it stopped being supported because some company says, "Oh, we're not going to do this anymore." So, yeah.
But yeah, right now it's I'm trying to get what I can into shelves, and then see what I can't fit in shelves, and see where I can buy more shelves and fit a few more shelves here and there, and then figure out what I can keep and what I need to part with and what I might store for a while.
Yeah. I understand that. Like me, I've always said this. Everybody's collection is never finished. It's always evolving.
And and that's another thing, is trying to just find places to keep some space. Like I have a couple of kind of empty Gridman shelves because I want to buy more Gridman stuff. I know there's some Gridman stuff coming up later this year and early next year that I want to have. And then I know I want to keep collecting Godzilla stuff. So I need to make sure my Godzilla shelves aren't packed to the...
I know you have Godzilla turtles you gotta find room for.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's almost like a never-ending thing.
It feels like there's a point where it does start to feel like a burden.
I can understand what you're getting at, because there have been many times I purged my collection because of that. And throughout the years, like I said, I've literally physically downscaled a lot of my stuff. It's mainly because it's easier for me to display. It's easier for me to play with and mess with if I want to. It's easier to clean if you got to pull them all off, clean stuff and put them back. That's a huge plus. Especially since I don't like using glass shelves. I don't use glass shelving. But I understand some people do. That's just my own choice. But I just like stuff to be accessible. Like if I want to play with something, I'll just reach over here, got it, or whatever. I don't try to keep boxes for a whole lot of stuff, unless it's some oddity or something like that. But when it comes to collecting and stuff like that, as far as I'm concerned, when new stuff comes out, it's like, first off, is it something that really is in my wheelhouse? How much is it going to cost? Do I have room for it? Those are like my biggest 3 questions. I always question myself, especially around this time of the year when San Diego Comic-Con comes around, New York Toy Fair, all this stuff. I think don't we have another thing coming up toward the tail end of this year for like a huge reveal of stuff? I don't remember if there's another one or not here soon. But I think
I feel like there's something at the end of the year. I mean, there's always like Toy Fair at the start of the year.
Because Tokyo Toy Fair was already going on, or has gone, hasn't it?
Yeah, the Tokyo was like a toy show at the same time as the SDCC. So there was a bunch of stuff coming out at the same time. If you see my picture changing, I'm just kind of playing with webcam settings. 'Cause I found them, and I'm trying to. So I turned autofocus off.
No, I don't blame you.
And now
Mine
I'm trying to
sometimes
just.
goes whack, but not that
Yeah.
often. But I don't know. It could be just the way my
Mine
lighting
keeps
is.
autofocusing, and then it never focuses back in, and I'm like, what is wrong with this thing? I was kind of just playing with some of the setting. I think I got it to not look so washed out. And I might try the overhead lighting next time, just see if it kind of helps with some of the backlighting being so bright. But
Right.
yeah, I feel like there's usually some sort of reveals either at the end of the year or at least at the start of the year. There's the toy show is usually at the start of the year.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we'll
Yeah,
see.
I think that's coming up sometime. I know once we get closer to, the holidays, we'll get more stuff that'll be like revealed. Still waiting on, the rest of the primes to come out. Because I know they had this. I don't even understand this one. I didn't really want to get into the other ones yet because I want to talk about them on the next show.
Yeah.
But there are some
You're talking about-
really strange ones that's coming out.
Is it Amalgus?
Yeah, like I don't understand that one at all. The other one,
Yeah,
the
I'm not sure.
Quintesson looking thing, I'm like, okay, that's cool. At first, I
Yeah,
thought that was
Quintesson.
Liege Maximo, but that was like, no, that looks more like a Quintesson because of the tentacles, Because Liege Maximo kind of has that look too. But I'm like, well, they said they're going to be revealing the rest of this stuff toward the end of the year, so where's it at? I'm like, they're really just kind of trickling it. It's not like, oh, here it is.
Well, that's the thing is we really only get like 3 waves a year, so I assume these primes will be released throughout this year and probably most of next year.
I hope so.
Because they've revealed how many of them at this point. I mean, they're getting close. There's only 13 of them. I feel like they've done at least
Half.
maybe 9 or 10 of them, maybe. What are they? You have Star Convoy. You have
Onyx Prime, it's already been enrolled.
because they released Prima Prime. They've released the one with the hammer. Can't remember her name.
Oh, yeah.
The purple one.
Yeah, the purple one.
We've already seen the mini bot Prime. We have the Alchemist Prime, Onyx Prime. So they revealed Amalgus, Quintus Prime, and another Prime. I'm pretty sure. Alpha Trion.
Yeah, Alpha Trion.
And then the question is Vector Prime included?
Yes.
So I think that we're up to like 10 of the 13 from my count, and I might have missed one.
So I'm like, okay.
So there's really only the 3 left. Like what? Or no, there's the Fallen. So we're at 11 of 13.
Yeah. So we just have. I have a feeling Liege Maximo's will be the last one.
Yeah.
I just do.
There's like Leech Maximo and I don't know. I'm not sure who the
I
other
can't
one
remember
is.
who the other one is. Let's just hope they don't reveal another Cosmos before it goes away. Cosmos Prime, because he's the butt end of every killed off line there is. It's horrible. Did you see that new Cosmos that's coming out for? Was it Earthspark?
It's coming out for Earthspark. I did. I think it's kind of cute. Like, if you look at it and think of it as a kid's, it's a kid's thing. I like to think of it as Baymax. It's Baymax of Transformers. Like, I saw it and I was like, that's okay. Like, it's kind of funky. It's funny. It's absolutely hilarious. But to me, I was like, okay, it's kind of cute. It's like Baymax of Transformers.
I just love the fact that his little head just pops out. It's just like
this tiny head and this huge body. That's what made me think of Baymax.
I'm sitting there thinking, why go? This is the perfect opportunity. They could have made like the chest open, so that way you put like a little tiny version of Cosmos in it and close him up. Look, I'm all big and buff now. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm kind of disappointed because they didn't release because Tarantulas was in one of the episodes, and I'm like, I want if you're gonna release Cosmos, can I get an Earthspark Tarantulas? Like, I'll buy it.
Now, didn't they reveal a Arachnid?
Yeah, Transformers 1, the Transformers 1 Arachnid.
Yeah, what did you think of that design? Did you look at it yet?
Yeah, I mean, I still haven't watched. It's on my to-do list. I need to set up my PlayStation 4 now that I'm getting more and more unpacked, so that I can finally watch Transformers 1 because I own it on Blu-ray. So I don't know. I don't know much about her character in the movie, but I mean, it looks like Arachnid, but that's me basing it off of my only other exposure to Arachnid, which is Transformers Prime.
Yeah.
I do wish that they would just do. They need to do a really good Transformers Prime Arachnid.
Yeah, give us one that actually could turn into a helicopter and turn into the spider.
And she needs to be like a Voyager class. She needs to have like a really cool spider legs. This one looked fine. I just don't. I mean, I don't have a whole lot. I don't have an attachment to the character to have strong feelings about it, right? It does. It looks like Arachnid. I mean, when you look at it, you see Arachnid.
Yeah, like in the show, you do see her, but she's not like a main character. She's there, but it's kind of like when you watch that movie. There's so many deep cuts throughout that entire movie. Like, if you pause it and look whenever they do like the race scene and literally read the leaderboard that's got all the names on there, they have Generation 2 Motormouth on there. I'm like, where's my Motormouth? Come on, guys. You guys gonna throw us a deep cut like that in there? Where's a Motormouth?
Yeah, that. Oh,
like there's so many that are on there.
There was a crossover I thought about that just popped up in my head that maybe we talk about next week. I don't know how much the other two will care.
What, the Hot Wheel one?
Yeah, the Hot Wheels.
Let me look that one up. We'll talk about that one. I'm pretty sure they're not going to care about the Hot Wheel one as much.
Yeah, I feel like you're the Hot Wheel guy.
Oh yeah, I am.
And I definitely, I grew up with Hot Wheels. Like, who didn't? But
yeah, I mean, that's my thing. Who has never had one of these little die-cast cars in their pocket?
Yeah, I like totally forgot about those, and then they popped up in my brain when we were talking there.
Yeah, I just remember that. I was like, yeah.
To wrap up on Arachnid, I think some of the parts look really thin, and that kind of makes me worry that they'll break. But I'm not going to own it, so it doesn't matter to me. I guess at the end of the day.
Alright, so we're going to look at Bone Shaker first. This is kind of almost a deep cut in a lot of ways when it comes to the design, because let's face it, guys, it's a rat rod. This has been a Hot Wheel many times. I think this thing looks fantastic in car mode.
It's awesome. I love rat rods. There's something. I mean, I know some people hate them, but I love rat rods.
They're gnarly.
I think this one, I might get because I think the vehicle mode looks awesome, and I think that Robot mode looks awesome. The robot mode looks like
Right?
edgy. It looks like edgy
There
Goldbug.
it is. Yeah.
So, correct me if. Tell me if you agree with me. It looks like edgy Goldbug.
Mhm.
His like that. That's Goldbug's head.
Yep. You know
This
what
is
else
like-
I see here, though?
What?
Jolt.
Which Jolt?
G2. Because he's part of the laser rods.
Am I familiar with that? Let me look it up real quick.
I just love the fact this dude comes with a cane that's got a shifting knob on the end of it. The fact that they even like put that in as a detail, I just think is amazing.
Yeah, it does look like or it looks like he has a wand, like he's gonna do some magic.
Yeah, or he's just gonna whack you on the head with like this cue ball on the end.
I think this one is great. Like this one is fantastic. Oh yeah. That's like the Plymouth Prowler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not really a Plymouth Prowler. It's more of a rat rod from way back in the day, but because the Plymouth Prowler wasn't out during that time. This was
Wasn't
actually
it?
predates the Prowler. The Prowler, I think, came out in
G2
'97, '98. Because G2 is '93. And I think the Prowler came out around like maybe
Prowler
'96.
was 97. There would have been there would have been prototypes before that because it says Jolt came out in 1994.
Yeah.
So, they could have sold some Prowler prototypes. But yeah, if anything, it's at least a rat rod.
Yeah.
But the Prowler is kind of just a fancy rat rod.
I think really this kind of
it's all rat. It's all rod, no rat. It's
yeah. But I could see them recoloring this as him easily. I mean, even the face sculpt kind of matches. Sort of.
Yeah, it's not too far off. Like it definitely, I can see them repurposing it.
Yeah.
Now, will they? Because I don't know if they've ever taken a crossover and gone backwards with it. Like they've taken molds and made them crossovers, but I don't know if they've ever taken a crossover and made it a character.
I don't know if Hot Wheels would allow it, or if they'll just change the engineering enough in order to do that. Because they could change it and get rid of the skull chest and just give them a grill. You know.
I really like this one. This one is solid.
Oh yeah. Now the other one, Twin Mill.
Twin Mill is awful.
This is one of those really, really strange. I think I remember seeing these in like the late '90s when they came out with this particular Hot Wheel design. And if I'm not mistaken, you can push down on the motors or something like that.
This isn't even the Twin Mill I'm familiar with.
I think it's cool though. It kind of looks like a. I don't know if you got rid of the motors, it literally would look like a Batmobile.
Yeah, I mean, because Twin Mill had the motor sticking out. I just feel like they did such a good job with the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the car mode here looks fine. It does. I think some of my aversion to it is it looks a lot like Sideburn mold.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the Sideburn mold, but
No.
it looks a lot like it. And so I'm seeing it, and all I can see is that horrible Sideburn that destroyed my hopes and dreams.
1 second. Sorry.
But yeah, so I mean, it's very much. It's got like a point blank look to it.
Yeah, I mean he has tiny little feet, tiny feet.
It's very weird. Like his robot mode's not great, and it's very hollow. Those legs look awful.
Yeah, I don't know. It's something about this one. Just there's not enough there, I think, for them to actually do something with. I mean, to me, I would have just collapsed the legs down more. Maybe not make him as tall. Could have got rid of some of that hollowness, I think. That's on the sides of his legs. You can obviously tell. But I mean, he's okay. I really think Bone Shaker's the one that's gonna, yeah.
Yeah, Bone Shaker. Bone Shaker has like everything that went into Bone Shaker was removed from Twin Mill.
Yeah.
Um,
Now, I know some people are going to want this just because they probably had the Hot Wheel when they were a kid.
yeah.
And most Hot Wheel collectors are going to be all over this because Hot Wheel collectors are going to want everything as Hot Wheels. So that is going to bump the price on these easily in the aftermarket, I should say.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I can't really be mad at this. I mean, I think it's kind of cool how you can take the scoop that comes off the engine manifold,
Yeah.
and actually put it in his hand
Yeah, it's like a gun.
as a gun, which is kind of cool. I mean, at least there's a little bit of variety that you can do with him.
Yeah, I mean, it comes with effect parts too.
Yeah.
I just think like it's just like the more like vanilla of the two. I think is the big problem. Like it's just a car with engines sticking out,
Yeah.
and it turns into a very generic sort of Autobot looking guy. Like
Yeah.
like I said, it looks like Point Blank because it's got like the same sort of Point Blank like profile.
I
Where
wonder
the
if they'll retool it into Point Blank then. 'Cause
where
have they give us a Point Blank? I don't think they have.
I feel like
I
there was
know
a
they give us crosshairs.
I feel like there was a Point Blank once.
Oh yeah, I think they have. That's right. Because no, they did reveal Sure Shot, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah, the Legacy did a Point Blank.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty recent.
Right. But yeah, this Bone Shaker is cool. I'm all about that.
But yeah, Bone Shaker just has so much more going on than Twin Mill, and I think that's kind of what makes Twin Mill so like
Plain. Almost.
plain compared. And I didn't really get a good idea of what size these are. I assume that these will not work in Hot Wheels tracks.
No. These.
I assume these are closer to like core class or deluxe.
I was
size.
saying they're probably more deluxe because if you look at them on card, give me a second here. My computer's being silly again because that's what it always does.
Like Twin Mill is both smaller in car mode and in robot mode. It's kind of just like, why is he so much smaller than the other guy?
Just think there's so much more there for him to work with. But yeah, this does look like a deluxe. I mean, I don't see it being like, kind of like the mini bots. I don't see it being that small.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, I would expect it's probably more like a deluxe size. You
Yeah.
know, they'd probably hit that $25 price point.
Easily, with it being a Hot Wheels thing, they're gonna definitely. It'll probably be a little bit more because of that.
These things are probably gonna get scalped like crazy over that.
Oh yeah, and that's the issue with Hot Wheel crossovers. Like that's been a problem quite often. But I mean, I wouldn't be mad if they decide to just, I don't know, tell Mattel, okay, cool, it's no longer going to be this character anymore, and I don't know, do whatever you got to do to the engineering, just have them have a windshield and get rid of that grill and put just a normal thing and give me a jolt.
I can definitely see them. There's potential there for retooling into a just normal Transformers character, but that's where we come back to. I just don't know if they've ever gone backwards from a crossover to a normal figure. It's usually the other way around.
Yeah. I mean, even with that Top Gun one they did, like the Maverick figure, I personally think that would have been the perfect opportunity to give us a modernized Cyberjet. Perfect opportunity, and it didn't happen. I'm just like, come on, guys.
That's like, the same thing with the Naruto one. It has the frog, which is like very clearly Spitter, right? Which makes me think that maybe they were working on a Spitter that never got released or even revealed. But
That, or maybe this is just something they're trying to put in their wheelhouse later on to shoot.
Yeah,
towards
I mean
later.
they could definitely turn him into a spitter, and they could definitely turn these guys into characters that, because they have similar profiles to certain characters. You know? But yeah, we'll see, because they've never done that before. Can't think of an instance where they have.
But yeah, I think that's all the really crazy crossover things I can think of that I remember. I don't know if you remember anything offhand other than
I don't remember a lot of crossovers that were. Those were most of the crossovers I think that were released or revealed.
Did you get into Ghostbusters at all?
No, I mean I watched the movies as a kid, but I was never like super into it. I remember there was a Ghostbusters cartoon when I was a kid, but I don't think I ever really got into that one either.
It was pretty fun. But yeah, they've revealed some Ghostbusters stuff that was pretty cool, and I didn't know if you had gotten into any of that or not. A lot of glow in the dark stuff, very 90s glow in the dark kind of thing.
I feel like glow in the dark makes a comeback every few years. Like,
where's our glow in the dark Transformers?
Right?
That's all I gotta say. You guys did color changing in the 90s. Bring us back a little bit of color changing other than a Hot Wheel that turns blue tracks into black tracks. I mean, you want to give these guys battle damage. That's how you do battle damage. You do it, say you just squirt them with hot water, and then bam, they got like this blast or whatever on. Come on. Maybe have a spring-loaded part that pops it off or something like that, and their chest explodes or something. You know, like the '86.
I feel like the
battle damaged ones. Give us ones that actually turn into battle damage.
Spring-loaded, you know. The problem with spring-loaded is every time Hasbro has done it recently, it's been awful. Like, because when they reissued the Beast Wars, they put the springs in, which I was surprised, because they usually, like a lot of the reissues, they remove the springs. But those springs had no tolerance. They do not lock in place. Like, the missiles come flying out at you. They don't even lock. It was like awful. They were terrible.
I don't understand that. Like, even when they did some of the reissues for the Beast Wars stuff, were they even like were the springs weak on those too?
They were super. It was more that the locking, like nothing locked in place. So the springs weren't like super strong, but they also didn't lock in place. So you had things like Scorponok's claw just does not stay. Like, it's just always shooting off. Which is kind of a problem with the original, but it wasn't a problem with the original when the original came out. No, it's a problem. It's a problem with it now that it's like a 30-year-old spring, you know.
I had a reissue Rat Trap, and it did okay. It wasn't terrible on the one-step change, but it was it was no
flip changers.
You know, flip changer from back in the day.
Yeah, the flip changers have held up, especially the ones that haven't been reissued to death. The pterosaur, or not the pterosaur mold, but it's technically the laser beak mold, has been just used so many times that it has some problems holding in place. But my reissue Rat Trap seemed to be pretty good. It locks in place.
Yeah, mine did okay. I mean, I love flip changer. As far as I'm concerned, that was the superior one-step changer, and they haven't went back since. But
a lot of the other springs are.
Well, I remember helping the shop go through quite a few, like, modern stuff, and there were like a few that, like you said, you were talking about like the reissue of like Megatron. Beast Wars Megatron. And it just seemed like things didn't click in correctly. It felt very weak. Although it's a new toy, it just didn't have... it felt like the tolerances were just off by enough.
Yeah, those reissues were disappointing. A lot of them had worse paint applications, really bad springs. None of them locked in place. Like the Megatron's arm always wanted to extend out, like you couldn't lock it in place. The one that
the flip portion didn't want to stay shut half the time. It always wanted to pop
those
out.
they were so poorly done. I don't know why. Like Hasbro's quality control was terrible on those. The two, it was nice to get an official American light Tigatron. Which, be careful, by the way. Like, there is almost nothing that distinguishes the reissue Tigatron from the Takara Tigatron, other than stripe patterns. So it's very easy.
Special, does it have the code that's on it? Like, because they've been tampering those codes.
I could not find anywhere that identified them. And the only thing I could find that was different was some of the stripe tamphographs. So that it's very easy to mistake them for each other. In fact, it's so easy to do that I made sure I was very clear writing on the bags when I put them into storage, which one was which, because they're hard to tell apart.
You don't put them on the shelf next to each other. You have like your reissues over here and your
my reissues are separated from my the one reissue that to me that was the best, which seems to sold poorly and had some quality control issues, was Scorponok, because they made it show color Scorponok, which I thought was cool. That was a cool way to do a reissue to get people to buy it. But no one bought it, except for me. I try every time it goes on sale on BBTS for like $15, I send it to people like, don't forget to buy your Scorponok.
Yeah. Like, it's crazy, because, I mean, I did a whole thing recently dealing with, the Fans Project Glacial Lord. I re-got one about around February and such. They still have them in stock, just the 3, but you can buy those 3 and buy 2 other limbs and have a Glacial Lord sitting on your shelf that'll play with your G1 and G2 combiners. So roughly around $60 for an entire set. That's dirt cheap. That's even cheaper than a G1 combiner. Like, you get more play value actually out of it. But I mean, it's a third-party toy, but it's also got some crazy appeal. Guys, wipe out all the stuff, the old stock that's out there. Just wipe it out. Go out and buy it all. Get it out of their way so that way they can get new stuff in. Because they get the stuff in and this stuff doesn't sell, then it's killing the collection community for us to get anything in. So, it also inspires people to keep making cool stuff. Because we all want cool stuff. So, buy everything they possibly have out there. If not, hook your friends up. Something. I don't know. Just don't let the hobby die, because
I thought about buying all of those Scorponoks. I thought about buying all those Scorponoks and donating them to like Toys for Tots.
There you go. There you go. You guys know the holidays will be coming around here soon-ish. I don't really want to, it's not even August yet, but yeah, you guys know how it goes. Christmas in July. Well, why don't you get off your butts and go and buy a bunch of this stuff and give it to Toys for Tots, here in a few months. They ain't gonna kill you. If anything, it's a tax write-off for some of you guys, because it's charity. There you go. Have fun. Share the wealth. If not, just donate it to somebody. Something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, I think we're a little over 2 hours here.
Yeah, just crossed over 2 hours like 10 minutes ago or something like that.
So yeah, I think we're gonna wrap up now, and obviously we'll be back next week. Hopefully the full cast will be here. If not, we'll make it work. We always do. That's just how we do things around here.
Yeah, probably talk the rest of the stuff at SDCC we didn't talk about.
Yeah,
and probably some of the stuff we did, but you know.
Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen, and then we'll get back on our other rigmaroles of talking about other collection habits and things we do and stuff we're into.
Yeah, talking about being old and collecting.
Yeah, being the old man back here collecting toys that, well, they ain't made like they used to be. Yeah, that's, nothing's made like it used to be. Get over it. It's just how it is. Coming from the old man. Anyway, I'll have you go ahead and say your goodbyes, and then I'll sign us off.
Yep, like always, Cyberman 2. Can't find me anywhere, so don't look. I'm here.
Yep.
I'll see you guys next week.
Yep. And obviously you guys know who I am. If you don't, you should. If not, subscribe. This is Plasticast, and we're signing off. Peace out, you guys.